All right, ladies and welcome back to another Chaos Zero Nightmare video. This is Mr. Squarrel. As always, glad to have you here. So, I'm sitting here with a conundrum. Do I summon for Narja or not? Now, many of you are probably like, I've already summoned, and many of you are maybe like, I'm still on the fence about Narja. I feel like this is one of those characters that, there is a lot of fence sitting because this is a character that we'll talk about is, I think, both there is an increase in power. It has a lot of really good aspects for a kit, but doesn't feel like a power creep. So then it's just like, do I need to summon for this character? Or can I wait for other characters? On top of all these other situations, we know there's limited characters. And then you're like, well, those limited characters don't come back. Like Serennial is amazingly broken. Do I need to summon for Narja? But then she does kind of work with Serennial. But there are a lot of things I've been like sitting there thinking, I was like, do I need to summon for Narja? Do I not? Should I summon for Narja? Just because I don't know. So today we're going to kind of break down whether or not if we look at an account and we say, hey, is this the decision I need to make for my account? And by need is very subjective, right? Because I don't think you need, like, you have to support control characters and you're good to go. We'll talk. So let's look right now, and I'm going to try to help break down my rationale behind my decisions, and then see if, like, based on the decision, does that mean I should potentially summon here or not? Let's talk about that. Now, here's my account. I got a lot of decently built up characters. You will notice my two main support, well, a couple of my main supports are going to be, as we can see, whoop, wrong way. Over there is going to be Mika. I mean, everybody's got Mika. And then Kalipe is one of the other characters that I'm really building up, that I have built up now. And then Ray. And Ray is very good because because I have her with 6 dupes, right? I have her up to epiphanies. I got 6 epiphanies on her. So she's got that 20% attack card increase. So I'm like, okay, she's great. But now I'm coming into this other issue, right? I really like Chizuru. I know a lot of people are like, I really like Chizuru. I think she's a really fun character. I like her playstyle. Again, there are issues with her in AoE situations. But here's the thing I want to talk a little bit about. Mika is very good, but she doesn't really add much to the Ravage team, right? Because Mika, so if we look at Mika here, now if I go into Mika and if I have like all this stuff going on with Mika, she is like, just generally speaking, we've got AP and we've got healing. You can add some card draw in there too, because but that you can add it to any support character. Just add card draw in. Her job though is AP healing, which is great. However, she works with everyone. Actually, I'm running into an issue with her because my other team is going to be Veronica and Maylin. And I'm like, well, if I'm using my Kalipe team with Serennial, I have Mika there. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I also need another Mika-like character in another place. And so then I'm wandering into this issue of, I want some healing because, again, the shielding from Kalipe is good, helps prevent, in chaos runs, going into like losing my sanity. But I have one Mika. And again, I mean, chaos is a little bit different, but you usually want to have 2 separate teams. And Mika isn't really adding the craziest amount of damage to the team. I'm running into this issue. She's not running this crazy amount of damage, and she's not really helping my team do more damage. I need more damage. My problem is I need more damage, and I feel like, ways to burst down, like get that Ravage bar down. Now let's pause real quick. Now, there is this issue of, well, let's look at Narja. Now, on the other hand, Narja isn't really AP based. She doesn't give AP. Now, she does have the bottomless hunger. Now, so essentially what she does is she has this veracity, and she heals when you reduce it and when cards hit. And so you have this cycling of she's able to deal damage, and then also, increase the damage that you're dealing, On the next card. So like if we look right here, let me zoom in real quick. So like with Veracity, if we see it here, if health is 50% higher, plus 30% amount of dealt by attack cards when the effect is activated, decreased by 1. So when you decrease it, you get, if your health is above 50%, you're just going to deal more damage. Now, on top of this, when in the predation state, so she can also go into the predation state besides the veracity state, she can increase the damage attack cards deal by another 80%. So she is just magnifying the damage your cards are going to be doing. So it's like, oh my God, she's doing so much more for my characters. I need, like, in this Serenial and Calipe team that I have going, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, I need more damage. Now, and she's someone that can add more damage to it. Now you're like, well, do you really need more damage? Well, and also I'm having this issue. I only have one Mika. I have one Mika, and I can't throw more around. Now, the reason I like Mika with Calipe and Serenial is the AP. I could do more of those big 3 cost cards, and it really helps out. Now, on the other hand, as we saw in the other kit, she also, because she can reduce cost, she can do essentially similar things. Like rather than, having more AP, you reduce the cost of cards, which is inversely the same exact thing. You're just reducing the cost. Now it's random, and with plus AP, you can actually just throw more cards. Like you have more choice. I do think plus AP is just better, but this is a 0 cost. It's giving you similar things. Again, plus AP is a little bit better, but she's, now mind you, it's not just healing an AP. She's giving you tons of damage, like immense amounts of damage, which Serenial and Calipe both want. So then now we're sitting in this situation. Now, mind you, she heals a ton, which then says, the Calipe team is great, but Calipe with Serenial is very good, but you want a little bit more healing. Like what happens when they bypass your shields? You need healing, which is why I really do like putting Mika there, because the heals. Because if they do bypass the shields, you have the heals sitting there ready to go, right? You can't time the shields, and they can get pretty like big meaty shields. But at the same time, again, I'm going to come into this issue. I need a Mika somewhere else when I'm thinking of other game modes, right? I want a second Mika, someone that can heal, now it's more I want some damage. And so this is like, people are going to be hearing me say like, okay, so this just seems really, easy. Like, I should just summon for Narja. Yes, but also it is important to recognize too, I don't think is she going to be crazy needed. I think a lot of these modes you can still do just fine, right? Like, I think I was really on the fence with her because I was sitting there, I was like, do I actually need this character? And I don't know if need is a strong word. If you're in the similar situations with me, it's like, all right, I've got this situation where, do I summon for her? Do I, it is expensive. It's like, you're gonna throw out your summons. You're gonna see, okay, can I get lucky here? And that's gonna pull away from other summons. The other thing to take note is she is a controller support, and she's a healer. We haven't gotten many healers. Now, granted, we've had DPS that have some healing in their kit. Like we think of Chizuru. She's got healing in her kit, but not a lot, right? And I think she can also work with Chizuru here too, because again, remember, she's not giving AP, so she does work with Chizuru. She's also AoE based, defense based. So she's adding to your team in that sense. I mean, when we think about this, like Mika is really not adding damage to your team. She is just there to keep the team alive and then make it so you have more AP, so you can do more things in a turn, which essentially means more damage, right? Like she's just not outright increasing your damage. She's just allowing you to play more cards. The problem with Mika though is you have no draw. Well, you can add draw in via, chaos, but when you're getting so much AP and you need more ways to get more cards, there is still that other issue. You've got to sit and play, right? If you have other characters, like one of the reasons I love the Mika Veronica Meilin team is because you have a ton of draw from Veronica, and then you just want AP and you want healing. And Mika does that in stride. I actually think Mika is best with the Veronica and Meilin team, because that team already has draw. It has some small amounts of shields. It has tons of damage. It just needs AP and healing, which she does beautifully. On the Calipe Serenial team, the issue is you're looking for some draw, which again, there is an issue with Narja not having that much in her kit or any, but she has healing, which that they're looking for. But instead of she has the ability to magnify damage. So rather than giving you more AP, she's going to magnify the damage. These are the decisions that you have to think about when summoning for these characters. Is this really going to be a character that will influence my account? Now, mind you, she's also not limited, so you can randomly just pick her up at another point in time too, which, hey, that's cool as well. So do take note of that. Again, I'm always under the impression now because she's a healer though, you're probably like, well, no doubt you're probably going to summon. Yes, but at the same time, I do want to emphasize to people, I don't think that you need to feel like you need to summon all the time. If you're able to do these, if you're able to do all the modes, which almost everybody can, is she needed? I don't know if I would really say she's needed, but at the same time, like, she works incredibly well with Chizuru because, mind you, she's not giving AP. So any support that isn't giving AP is going to be best friends with Chizuru. Or at least work with Chizuru. Maybe not best friends, but she will work with her. You know what I mean? Because Chizuru is going to say you can't gain AP through your skills. So guess what? You can do through Ravage. But just take note, you can't. So that means I want supports that aren't giving, AP. So then it begs this bigger question. Should you summon for this character, right? For me, it kind of makes sense because Mika plus, I need the Mika with my Maylin and Veronica team. At the same time, what I'm noticing is just because I don't have more draw, but if my laser beams can hurt way harder with Serenial versus do I actually need to draw as much, as well as she's moving her laser beams around all over the place. So is there as much draw needed there? Because again, Khalipe is giving the shield. I've got the damage amplification plus the healing coming from Narja. So then it really does kind of say, now also you can attach specific control like partners to Narja that will help you discard and draw. So if you're ever in a situation where you need different cards, there is the battle pass partner that you can just straight up attach to Narja. And that's another way to think about this as well. So I think when I'm coming to this conclusion, I have multiple teams. I can also, here's in this situation, I can pair with Chizuru. Chizuru and Narja work really well together because, again, not AP, card reduction. So these two do work really well together. I have two characters on two separate teams that do work very, very well. Two separate teams can use her, or I can use Mika. Now, Mika does not work with Chizuru, but she works on my Maylin team. So then I'm having multiple teams that can operate in different scenarios and will work, which is important to recognize that, hey, guess what? So in this case, should I summon for Narja? The answer to that question, I think in my case is yes. Let's see if we can get her. All right. So as you can see, I've got about 100 plus summons. My hope is to get one copy. I'm only going for one copy of her, and then hopefully I can pick up more copies as we summon and we'll lose it in the 50-50s as time goes on. It would be really nice to pick up a copy so that I can actually just kind of, I'm looking to hopefully just one. I'm looking for one. I know there's other epiphanies. For these non-limited characters, my rationale moving forward is that I can probably just pick them up. I will lose 50-50s at some point, and I can just pick them up then. Unless it's like an absolutely super crazy needed one, I just don't see really the need for that. And I want to save a lot of my summons for these limited characters because, again, those are going to be much harder to get. So moving forward, that's my general thought process. Unless the character is really, really needed, I do think Narja will be a great character. Just because, again, healer controller overall will add a lot to my account, I think, especially given that multiple teams can use her. So let's see what we can do. Hopefully we can pick her up early. That would be absolutely wonderful if I can pick up a nice early copy of her and then just call it a day. Ooh, that would just end the video up perfectly. And nope, I will take some more. What will I take more of? Maribel's. So let's see if we can pull some more copies. I don't have a lot of dupes in my Maribel, so it would be nice to pull a couple more copies. Hey, there we go, Maribels. I'm looking for more of Maribels. That's great. Perfect. Okay, I will gladly take the Maribels because, again, mine is very low duped out. So that's just, helpful. Great. Love it. I don't know if I need as many. Let me just make sure that let's look at the league. I don't need as many Lucases. I think my Lucas is actually pretty highly ranked or has a lot of dupes already in him. So I don't know if I really need more. Oh, well, we can still potentially get her here. And nope. All right. Well, that is what it is. Let's see if we can get some more Maribels. I'll gladly take more Maribels, though. Again, that would be nice. And even if you get like duped out, I mean, you're still getting points back because of. Okay, well, that's not going to be that helpful. You're still getting points back, so I can get the partners later. I don't know if I need her partner card personally because she's a controller. There's a couple other things I was really thinking about. I am probably going to use the battle pass. Partner with her just because that gives her access to draw, which I really, really think she needs. And that will actually kind of solidify her kit for me and like being in a good place. I'm probably going to give her the battle pass one just because I like the discard draw component of that, and it will help me cycle out cards that I don't need versus cards that I do need, and versus all right, more Maribels. I will gladly take more Maribels. This is great. I need as many dupes as possible. Whoa, hello. Okay, game is like, yeah, here's tons of Maribels. Oh, great, cool. I mean, that's literally what the front door is going on. I literally just maxed her out in like one summon. Okay. Uh cool. Are we going to full pity? Oh, come on. Don't tell me we're going to full pity. Oh. And no, we're going to full pity. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. All right, we're skipping. More Maribels. Okay. All right, all right. I think we're pretty much like at it. This should probably, I mean, we're technically at 14 and yep, there we go. Okay. We got the screen crack, the screen shift thing. And here we go. Okay. Come on, Narja. That would be great to get a Narja here, and I can just call it a day. And this video was simple. It was easy. That will be great. Come on. Oh, let's get a Narja. Narja. It would be wonderful, and then I can build her up. Yes, very good, very good, very good. And oh god, that scared me. Oh wow, Lucas, dude, don't give your dude a heart attack. And here we go. Okay. Did you save me? Yeah. Nausea. Oh, nice and easy. You'll love to see it. Nice and easy. Okay, great. Can I get a second one? Nope. All right, perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to go shoot for. Awesome. All right, we got Narja. I'm thinking I'm just stopping there with her. Again, the one thing I was going to say is I think moving forward. Okay, so this is a little tricky because again, I was thinking the assigned combatant. I might just use Alyssa. I do like the idea of Nyx, but the problem with Nyx is like you're losing a lot of the second half of the passive, and it's also health increase, not defense. So it's not really in helping her. But I do love her ego skill. Like Nyx's ego skill is probably one of the most cracked things in the game because it's just discard 3 cards, up to 3 cards, and then draw +1 based on the number you discard. That gives Narja, like it covers her weak point of no damage or no draw. I don't know. I think I might go with, in fact, I probably will just go with Alyssa because I do like the buff, the 21% damage buff. It'll actually go up a little bit more. She has a heal. I don't think Narja really needs more healing, but the one morale is very, very nice. And then it's at the end of battle, it heals. Now, in contrast to this, Narja, who has Gaia, has essentially giving a ton of defense, tons of defense and increased defense damage. She's also adding 20% damage amount of all allies when using a unique attack card of the assigned combatant with an original cost of 6, which is specifically designed for Narja, right? So you're in at the turns that she's using her unique card that's 6+, she's going to give a 20% damage boost. And it adds the draw. So I don't know if I'm going to summon for this thing. Hold on one second. What I might do is just wait and then wait till I get 300 and then I can summon for Gaia. And then I'll just use, depending on, because Gaia is so good for Narja and it adds that draw that she's so desperately seeking. I don't know yet. I might just summon for Gaia. Not summon. I'm not going to summon for Gaia. I might just hold off till I get 300, so I need to do 80 more, and I might just pull up Gaia later. Because Narja, again, she gets a significant increase from Gaia in terms of just her overall damage and what she's offering the team in terms of the team's damage, because now she's just adding so much damage to your team with Gaia. I need to think about it. That's just maybe a conversation for another day. You know what we might do? I know what we might do. Let's do this. Let's do 2 more summons. and see if I like, and what I mean by 2 more summons, like I'll just push the pity a little bit here, and get maybe a little bit more like material or like, since I'm going to be pulling dupes anyways, this will be a nice way to just, let's see, since Narja's not in here. Okay, that's 10 more. Okay, so I need 70 more. We'll do 1 more here. And if I get a dupe in Narja, I get a dupe in Narja. Okay, no dupes. So it pushed it a little bit forward. I was hoping to get some more, just 4 stars here, because if I get some more 4 stars, more Maribel. Okay, that'll push. Let's see, did I get... Okay, so it pushed it up again. So I'm at 60 more now that I need. So, okay, we're getting there. We're moving, we're grooving, but it will be well on my way to, getting Gaia to buff up Narja as high as possible. All right, folks, hope this video helps in just understanding decision-making processes that will go into whether or not you should summon. And as always, remember, failing is your first attempt in learning.